So a little bit about the let's talk about the packaging of the Etairos. So let's talk about the packaging of the Etairos, as I guess you guys can see. Yes, you're correct. They are not my hands. And that is not my voice. We have Baby Madison joining us in the studio today, trying to help us out here.
Average Joe.
It's always time. Kind of one. Hello everyone, welcome to Average Joe Watch Reviews, where we do more than just reviews. Today we're doing the review on the Etairos, which is Greek for partner, companion, and it's actually a very fitting name. I did see this watch on Instagram, and it was on a friend's page. I did a little bit of research on the company, reached out to the owner, Dan, and the rest is history. He sent me out a watch. I don't have to give it back, which I'm happy about because I really do like this piece. So we're just going to dive into the review, but before we do so, please hit that like button. That is the most charitable way to help support the channel. So with no further ado, let's just dive into the review. Oh yeah. All right, so a little bit about the Etairos Mission 71. Etairos is a Greek word meaning partner, meaning comrade, companion. And when you buy one of these watches, you become a partner, you become a comrade of the Mission 71. 71 meaning 71% of the world is covered in ocean. 20% of the proceeds, or should I say the profits from this watch, go towards conserving the ocean. So I really love that. But I will admit that what really struck me about this watch is its uniqueness. It is such a multi-level dial, and that orange rehat is just, it really just sticks out, right? But you got a lot of other orange too, including the 71, the second hand with that lollipop, and you also have the backslash forward slash. It's actually kind of just a straight slash with orange highlights as well. So lots of orange pop, and of course a lot of blue. So if we take a deep dive, and pardon the pun, into the dial itself, you can even see that this middle portion here, the center, is all kind of a wavy pattern, very water-like, very blue, and you have skeletonized hands here, and they really do serve a nice purpose. And what we're going to do is we're going to unscrew the crown, and I'm going to show you how well the skeletonized hand actually works. Now you do notice that you do get the magnification for the date, and that magnification works pretty well. It lines up pretty nicely as well. So not a bad feature. This is actually the first watch that I actually own that has a magnification feature. But we're looking at, look at that. That is pretty cool. So what we have is the Etairos logo, printing of the Etairos brand, Mission 71 30 ATM, which is 1,000 feet of water resistance, automatic movement, and this is actually running the Miyota 9015 movement. So I popped the crown out. This is the first position. This is your winding position. No problem there. And you do notice that the crown is at the 2 o'clock position. It is signed with the Etairos logo. Pop it out one more. Actually, I'm going to pop it out two more, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to 6 o'clock. But let's just take a look at the date change pretty good there. Very, very nice there. I like to change the dates at around 6 o'clock so that we don't damage any of the teeth of the when we're bringing the date wheel around. We want to cause any type of friction. So we just change it at 6 o'clock, and as you can see, very, very smooth date changes here. I actually brought that back in, sorry. There we go. So there you go. And you just pop it back in and screw it in for that watertight seal. No crown guards on this. This is actually what I would call a naked crown, which is fine by me, because if you get a screw down crown and you knock into the crown, it's not going to do any kind of damage because it is locked in. So we have, as I said, a lot of different layers here. So this is actually this middle piece here. I would like to, or I'm sorry, I should say the ring around is solid. That's not movable. You can see that, but it's fixed, and that's going to give you your 0 to 60 counter, and then you've got your what I call like a GMT function. You can actually track another time zone if you wish. So let's just say I want to track the United Kingdom, for instance. Right now I'm at 6 a.m. They are actually 5 hours ahead of us. So what I would do is I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right there at the 11. Well, at the hour hand here, I would actually go 11. So now we know that we're at 11:04, and then 12, and then we get into the GMT 13, so this will be 1 p.m. and so on and so forth. So it's pretty cool that you actually have the bezel that can do that. There is no loom pip, so there's a little bit of a, I don't want to say mistaken identity, but you've got that GMT out here, but it's not really a diver function now, because, if you're underwater, you're not going to be able to see exactly what you did with the bezel, because there's no luminescence. So, and you also got, I don't know, I think some people would probably have a little bit of an issue with the two sets of numbers here, but I've seen a couple other companies do that as well. And it does serve a practical sense, so I don't have any issue. But I would have liked to have seen at least some luminescent pip, so that if I did want to use this for diving, for instance, that maybe I could have. So there is some AR coating on the crystal underneath. I have to say it's lacking the AR qualities that I would expect. That's actually a negative that I have on this watch, is that it gets washed out with that direct light. This definitely could benefit from some more AR coating, but I will admit that watches in its price range typically don't even have AR coating a lot of times. So it's not, I know we're getting to that expectation now with a bunch of micro brands at very competitive price points, but I don't think the expectation's quite there yet. But I think this watch definitely could completely benefit from that, especially since this is a very summery watch. So you're going to have this outside a lot, especially on this rubber strap, which I'm going to have to knock the rubber strap, because I just cleaned it prior to recording this, and you can even see as I rub my skin on it, it actually dirties it up. It attracts everything under the sun, and that's just that to me is a negative. But with any kind of strap, you can totally switch it out for something else. And for me, I actually have had it on the Strapsco Vintage Beads of Rice, and it looks awesome on that. So, but this is a perfect summery type rubber strap that I would wear in the pool. But just a word of caution, it does get dirty very quickly. They did do a nice job on the buckle itself with the Etairos branding there, and you've got a nice brushed buckle there. So nicely done. You've got the Etairos logo, or the wording here, and you've got the logo right there. It is very pliable. Would have been nice if it was a quick release as well. We take a look at the side profile of the watch, and again, we've got that crown at the 2 o'clock position. Our lugs are they shoot straight down, which will help with the wrist presence, especially with smaller wrists. And we will take some measurements of this watch, but when you have lugs that actually, are a little bit more on the stubbier side. I mean, I wouldn't call these stubby, but these are also not, I wouldn't consider them long, except if they were actually straight out, they would be long for sure. But the fact that they do taper down does help hug the wrist a little bit, and also helps to lessen that lug-to-lug height. So that's pretty nice there. So I'm going to give you guys some measurements here. Let's just take a look at what we got. Let me just zoom this out. There we go. So what do we have here? All right, so our case diameter, we're looking at a 44. So I mean, this is a big watch, and I think what throws you off is it's very angular. Okay, because I mean that's the case size. But if we were just to measure the bezel itself, the bezel itself is a 43. So I was a little shocked when I just measured that, because for me, the watch doesn't wear as a 44. It actually does wear more like a 40. For me, it's like a 42, actually, to be honest with you. It doesn't wear very large. Our lug width here, we're looking at a 22. Our thickness is a 14, and let's take a look at that lug-to-lug height, and we are looking at a 51 millimeter lug height. So let me strap it on the wrist here and show you its wrist presence. Okay, so there you go, guys. This is my set. This is the Etairos on a 7-inch wrist, and you can see that it actually fits pretty well. Doesn't overspill on the wrist at all. So yeah, pretty good there. But as you can see, very, very blue, very summery, fun colors, very vibrant. Let's get some bezel action here so you guys can take a listen. A little bit of back play there, see? Not bad, but definitely some back play. But yeah, if you want to time another time zone, I think this is a cool watch to do that with, because they do make it pretty easy for you, and you can basically set it and forget it. So I'm going to flip the camera around and give you guys some final thoughts. Okay, so just some final thoughts on the Etairos Mission 71. I mean, look, the watch is going towards a good cause. It's a really stunning watch, very unique. It's got the pops of orange, very summery looking watch. I have to say, this is one of the few watches that I could say really looks seasonal. This one in particular is actually the Founder Edition, and this one actually is limited to 500 pieces. Now, a couple of the knocks that I have on the watch, at the 9 o'clock position, they actually didn't put the same amount of layers of luminescence that they did on the other markers. That's a bit of a QC issue, and it may just be to this watch. I don't know of the other watches, but that was an issue with this particular one. And I did mention that I'm not a fan of the rubber strap, not because it's rubber, but because, as you can see, it just dirties up real quick. I think a higher quality, like an FKM rubber, for instance, would have been a better choice. But I don't hold straps and bracelets. I don't really judge too harshly on that, because in the aftermarket you can get a really good quality one for just about 30 bucks. So not a big deal there, but I really do love what this watch stands for. And you're getting a fun, unique, colorful watch that this watch just screams, take me to the beach, take me to the pool. This is definitely a watch that I want to be taken to the pool for sure. Because I mean, it just screams that. It's just, I don't know what else to say. It's so blue. It's got that pop of orange that it's just very summery. So I don't know. What do you guys think down below? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And that's my 2 cents. You guys can keep the change. And always remember that there's always time to be kind to one another. Please take care of each other. And I'll see you guys next time on Average Joe Watch Reviews. God bless, my friends.